Hi guys, welcome back to AnimeInkArt Live Talks. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties, so I was just trying to take care of it, but hopefully I think it's a little bit better now, so let's get everybody in here that needs to get in here and let's get it started. Hey guys, welcome everybody tuning in for AnimeInkArt Live Talks. Hey, I'm your host Lizzie. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay. My phone wanted to act weird. It hasn't acted weird in a long time, but today is going to be a great show. For those that may not know what AnimeInkArt Live Talks is, it's our show where we talk to creators in the community about their journey in content creation and how we can support each other better in the community. So today we have special guests. Hey, our guest is right here, famicon Online. So their business is centered around promoting those in the blurred space, whether it's music, social media, digital marketing, and they're also part of Foolproof LLC as well. So that's their company where it's centered around digital marketing and media. So definitely we're gonna get them on and have a good time. Not the whole time, but hopefully Instagram doesn't take too long. So if you have any questions in that time, just let me know, just in case whatever it does in this moment right now. All right, so I'll resend the request just in case because Instagram is acting a little weird today, but just accepted the request again. So, all right, here we go. Jesus.
What's going on, lady? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you? How are
I
you?
can't complain. I can't complain. It's good that thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome. I apologize for that slight delay. It's been good the whole time, and then just.
Lady, don't even sweat it.
So, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was actually very good, very productive. You know, I'm getting a ton of work, getting my workflows in order, and really just banging things out at this stage.
That's awesome. And again, I just wanted to thank you for wanting to come back, you know?
Oh, absolutely, lady. I could not enough. It's always my pleasure.
So, for the people that may not know who you are and did not see the previous show, introduce yourself and what you do.
Of course, my name is Harrison, otherwise AKA So. I am the founder of famicon Online and Foolproof. Foolproof is basically a digital media marketing and production house centered around artist development and providing y'all critical services that y'all need to advance. And famicon Online is more or less a loose collective of individuals come together to support each other, to basically communicate and to really just pursue our goals uh, respectively, but with a community element or a communal element in mind.
That's awesome. And you got a lot going on. So, first, to start off, to talk about the origin of Famicon Online. And I know that you have a little bit of activism tied, like before you did, Famicon Online. And I feel like it
Right.
comes hand in hand. So, what made you start Famicon Online?
So famicon Online was basically the like it was just a lick that I caught after finishing my first social media marketing certificate. So that being the case, it that put me on to this idea, and I was just like, "Huh, what if I did this?" And I fired it off. Everybody who answered me back happened to be African American or African, and really from there, that started off with famicon Online. It was basically an even looser amalgamation of just group chats where people could share their stuff. It started towards the end of the pandemic, and individuals really just took to it at that point in time with everybody being around their devices. It was just hot button. You know what I'm saying? Things were just firing off like one after the other, and it got to be out of control real quick. That being said, I took some sound advice from some individuals, and here we are. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all be smart. That's what I will say. Y'all niggas smart.
And yeah, definitely for those that don't know, they have the Discord server as well that has
Yeah.
so many people at this point. I think it's over 1,000 at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. We're like doing like 1,400 or something like that.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, like, you were saying about the lessons, because I know, like, you created foolproof, like, for it to be digital marketing and media. So I
Right.
wanted to ask, what made you make that shift to incorporate it? Because, it's part of Famicon Online, but it's more of the business side of things. So what inspired you to go that route?
It was really a more business approach. Before individuals started, being wrecking balls and sledgehammers,
Yeah.
I recognized that it is a little bit unfair that Famicon Online happens to be for the purpose of African American individuals. So I was just like, you know what? We have a DEI measure, and that will be the house under which we incorporate, and this will be an outlet therefore. Um, Keeping that in mind, it was just like I'm not racist, although people do think that I'm racist because I run something that's all black.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, I'm just gonna make something separate because I made this thing that's all black and it has to stay all black. It has to keep its integrity because otherwise, why did any of those 1,400 people join us if it wasn't gonna be what I marketed it for? You know what I'm saying? And then plus, there's a whole new world of Minesweeper. If you can get the analogy that you have to play, where individuals tend to be peculiar in some very narrow instances, and you do have to watch out for that on occasion. And it's not great for business.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that. And I wanted to bring up the new project that you've been wanting to share. So it's the
Right.
Nakima no Chibi. So it's going to be a lofty animation project. So I want to ask, what got that started? How long has the process been, and what can we expect?
So, Nakama no Chibi is maybe something that has been 18 months, or I would probably say 15 months in production. Um, I really just took a look at models because we had so many different creators from all walks of life, including arts, voice acting, animation, music, and things of that nature. And I'm always here just trying to figure out new ways to make opportunity for y'all. So I was like, okay, I can't really animate. I can't really, well, I can art a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm not great at it. I can make music, but I don't want to score like a whole thing, and I can do a little bit of voice work, as you can hear, very velvety and luxurious. But that said, I was just like, how do I make more opportunity for individuals? And it was just the least common denominator because I was just like, okay, if I do this, I can do this to get voice actors. I could do this to get musicians. I could do this to get artists. I could do this to get what else? There's a few other things, writers and things of that nature. And it was just something where, yeah, there's going to be a canon as far as like a storyline, but also just giving it the ability to just kind of have little content stuff and be a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not certain if I'm finishing my sentences and practicing proper grammar like all of my teachers have taught me, but that is more or less, it's more or less just a way that it more or less just developed into a
You're
way that
good.
I can make opportunity for individuals. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. So that because we are way behind on models to help support our voice actors.
Okay. And for the series, like, are you still looking for like voice talent and everything like that? And what are some of the requirements?
100%. Yes, 100%. Uh, for the first season, we are going to be looking in house. The progression is basically going to be 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, and then 6, and then from there we want to jump to about 12 within a year. So having 12 people on board, and that's not including extras, mind you. So there's extra work available in all of this, and I'm talking really about the main cast and just the progression of the canon events. So I'm so sorry. I have short-term memory loss. What was the question again?
Oh, just like if you're still looking for talent, and then what are the requirements to sign up?
Yes. Yes, and for the time being, we are in-housing it to all of the individuals who are our members. And then after we reach that point where it's 12 people, then we will go on to sourcing out of the community.
Mhm. Okay, that makes sense. And I wanted to ask if you could give like I know that it's gonna be like, like a certain show where there's gonna be like different, side stories and stuff, but I know there's like a main like general story. So if you want to share a
Right.
little bit about what the main general story is.
Right. So the story of Nakama no Kibi is set in the greater dystopia the greater dystopia metropolitan area, which is a fictitious area in a fictitious version of America called the Love of Riches. And that said, it follows the exploits of a young light sprite named Yata. Light sprites are incredibly powerful beings. They're elemental in nature, and they are among the 9 elemental. I guess it would be like a hierarchy or something like that. And that said, he has a bunch of friends, and he works in art and entertainment. And he has this weird thing where he hates art, which is a bit of a statement that I want to make that kind of surrounds the show, where, in sacrificing some of the uh, more artistic aspects of the show, I'm able to really just provide to individuals and make lanes and develop resume and catalog for them. So that's his story. He has friends such as Umi. Umi is a streamer girl, and she loves guns, and she's very mischievous, and she loves to have fun. Then there is Nobi, who is a cyborg ghost ninja. He haunts Yata because because he's following him until he can find his memories.
Yeah.
Then there is Senko, who's an incredibly powerful Earth sprite. He basically just goes around fighting people and taking pictures of stuff. Then there's Oda, who is a dark sprite, and he is basically the antithesis of Yata. He is more or less a starving artist. I don't really want to put that label on him, but he's a very talented artist, and he's also a little edgy and angry. So he does not like Yata at all. And he thinks that he's everything that's wrong with the world, and he constantly is trying to kill him. So as the story goes on, it really just takes a deep dive into the diaspora of what it is to be African American, the culture that we live in, and the ways that we express ourselves in the environments that we're in.
That's awesome. It sounds like going to be a fun time, honestly.
It is. It's also going to be a little bit dark, which is one of the things where, like, as it started to flow, I was just like, oh, there's a little bit more potential than to me just be like, oh, it's haha fun time. I could also like really edge towards some darker humor and make it more of a show like the Boondocks, like Family Guy, The Simpsons, or even more comparable shows, Shin-Chan or Home Videos, which were huge Adult Swim shows that ran for quite some time, even though I did not like them at all. Those were not quite my my work growing up.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Everybody has something that they like, you know?
Mm,
And also, for people that may not know, because you wear different hats, you're also an artist. And I
mhm.
wanted to ask about the recent project, the Booster Volume Pack Part 3,
Yes.
Ignition. So I wanted to
Yeah.
ask, when did you start the project, and what's the type of feel that people can get from that project? Because I know on your website it's available for purchase and everything.
Right. So that being said, Booster Pack Volume 3 is the third installation of the Booster Pack series, which is basically songs or beats that I have that are really more so not tunes for me to rap on. And if they are tuned for me to rap on, they have some kind of applicability as kind of background music or scoring, and I just am not going to make lyrics for them. So that said, uh, that project is really meant to be a little bit of a breakaway from some of my more standard issue work and dove more into sounds that sound like they have applicability and synchronization in action-based projects, most likely shonen type anime that you might see. Songs like No or Fight Back or The Balance all are made to have a feeling of high energy, of drama, but also have like this hopeful feel, and it's meant to evoke certain emotions through just different eclectic sounds.
That's awesome. And how long have you been making beats and how long have you been rapping?
It
Because
is
I know
going to be
it's a way back.
it's gonna be like 16, 17 years come this November, so
Mm,
16 and a half as an artist. It's make and then rapping has probably been that would probably make rapping about 14 or so. um Music has been something that has been with me ever since that time, and shortly before it, oddly enough, I wasn't a huge music kid up until about the time that I was 8 or 9, and then I discovered Guitar Hero, and then I found like Rage Against the Machine, and then shortly after I found hip hop, or not shortly after, a few years later I found hip hop, and ever since then the rest is history.
that's awesome. And being that you're a musician, I know that like having a platform to collaborate with other artists, because sometimes doing that on your own is a difficult feat, but you've been able to gather a lot of different artists. You've been able to do ciphers since the last time we spoke. You've been trying to
Mhm.
curate the playlist, the playlist that you have that's on Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music as well.
Yep.
So I wanted to say, how does it feel that you have that platform to do that? And for people that may want to know about the playlist and the ciphers, you can give that time now to talk about it.
Yes, yes. Okay, so making the playlist is the best that it's ever been. I just want to start off by saying that it is incredible. Please go check it out. You will discover so many awesome artists. Now, that out of the way, making that stuff and making the platform for it, it is a huge sense of pride in my life to be like, okay, I do this for people, and I am providing services and programs and spaces and all this stuff for my community because I want to do good.
Mhm.
But the fact of the matter is that life has not been so kind to me to the point where I could do like a Black Lives Matter, or you know what I'm saying, some kind of other grassroots law type movement, or even an NAACP. So kind of getting it how I live, it was just like, it's so right to have, it feels so right to me to have that kind of platform through the internet and being able to do something at, if anything at all, for, you know what I'm saying, my people.
That's awesome. And definitely check out the playlist, guys, because like there's some fire stuff on there. Even like the ciphers on the YouTube channel and stuff. That
Yes.
those be going crazy. Like,
The first cipher, the villain cipher, was good. It was a little bit controversial,
mm,
but the fact of the matter is that everybody who performed on that rapped their ass off, and it came out to a very complete project. I wanted to do more from it, but there was a bit of
yeah.
a problem with the paperwork that kind of killed it
Mm,
at its like right after its takeoff.
yeah.
So I was a little bit disappointed in that, but
Mm,
moving a little bit smarter, moving a little bit wiser. We are setting up to make sure that all these things are exactly what they're supposed to be, for the people who subscribe to them. So that way we can deliver on, everything that we say we can, because we know that we can, and it's just a matter of business as usual is, what I would ascribe it to.
that's true. And I know recently last year you were able to get like another marketing license. And for people that they want to join Famicon, they want to know about like the promotion services that you have. If you can give a background on like the certificates you got, and then the services. Because when I checked, there's more than I remembered. Like now you have consultation, now you have like social media marketing,
Yep.
influencers, like helping with their pages and stuff. So yeah, just give us a scoop of how you help with that.
So I'm kind of in a continued education phase of my uh, background, but for the time being, I am certified in social media marketing on Instagram as well. Well, all meta platforms actually.
Mhm.
I went back and did that. I want to go back and do Google and YouTube in them, but that's not necessarily my forte right now. Although it is not the most different from what I am reading. I'm kind of doing some preliminary studies into there, just getting the knowledge so that way when I do take those courses for certificates, it's boom, boom, bap. You know what I'm saying? You know, you
Yeah.
study for the test, and then you take the test, and then you pass the test. So that's basically the idea for that. And really, my big focus is on meta, but my knowledge is my knowledge is a bit more extensive.
It's awesome. And for the services, like what services do you provide for those that may be interested in knowing like how you do these promotions and helping the different creators in the community?
So we start out with our influencer services, which are for creators. We love our creators, and we want to continue to provide for them. Uh, we also have brand services. Those are a little bit more difficult to execute on, but at the same time, they are have a fulfillment in and of themselves, where you are helping individuals with what they have going on, and you're helping to push them forward through your efforts, and you're amalgamating two things by introducing these, by bringing those worlds together. Then there are things like consultation, where I impart some of that knowledge with you. If you're trying to grow on Meta or other platforms as well, I'm again, the certifications aren't there yet, but I am
Yeah.
familiar. I do know what I'm doing. But on top of that, there are also our production services, which include audio, image, and video production. So we are doing quite a bit.
And people know you from, I feel like, different things because you know
Yeah,
whether you're promoting cosplay, whether you're promoting gaming, whether it's podcasting. I don't think people realize that all of it is you. So I wanted to really give you the chance to share like all the pages that you have and what it encompasses. Because like, you know, you don't have to like go in like great detail, but I don't think people realize that you help gamers, that you help regular content creators, that you help
right.
cosplayers, that you help you know, like podcasters. It's multiple things and people don't realize that it's connected. So if you wanted to share like how it's connected.
Yeah, so with that being said, we have a variety of pages, including our flagship, which we are speaking to you from right now. That is basically our variety page. We also have gaming, so we could focus on our gamers. We have cosplaying, so we can focus on our cosplayers. Famicon Cast, so we can focus on our podcasters, as well as voice acting talent and other voice-related stuff. We have Famicon Music for our musicians, and we also have Famicon Art for our artists. Basically, the thing about a variety page, not great for the algorithms.
Mm.
So we basically decided when we hit more than 365 of our gamers and cosplayers, we need to break off and make sure that we are giving people optimal promotion and separating them. Otherwise, we're never going to get around to some of them in a year's time. So we that's basically the reason for the several accounts that we have. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
know that it can be annoying to be like, oh, Famicon did this, oh, Famicon that, oh, Famicon again. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm just trying to make sure that you see great and dope people and that you're tapped into the community. I mean well. I can be a bit of a pest, though. Love you.
No, you're good, but I just want to let people know because it's just like I feel like everybody may have seen you in a different capacity, but at least that they
Right.
know that all of that is in capacity, you know, is for the best, you know. And I
Yeah.
wanted to ask about the cosplay collabs because that's something new that you've been doing. how did you get that started, and how do you feel now that you've done at least 3 successful collabs so far?
Okay, so having done three successful collabs, I feel like a complete imposter because I do not cosplay. So, with that being the case, I bring administrative to the table and nothing else. Um, what we do is we take all of our systems, we take all of our acumen, and we put it into that field. It's something that has been well overdue. And in our junior year, I stopped and I said, listen, the cosplayers, we have to do something for them. So we went by a simple model of populate, monetize, and expand. That being the case, we are looking forward to, I just got clearance this morning to announce that we are looking forward to a Astria Legends cosplay collab coming this May.
Yeah.
So we will be announcing the signups for that sometime probably the first or second week in April. And then after that, uh, we will be getting right into it and bringing our, of course, administrative acumen to the projects so that way we can bring together another, hopefully what is another incredible project with the community.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I am too, because if you have no idea who Astria Legends is, they are incredible. And if you look over their stuff, you probably might enjoy cosplaying some of this. I have to say, you especially, Lizzie, I think that you as an
Yeah.
Astrian would be a picture perfect moment.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I know, like, me and her have talked about it, and like, if one day I get my own Astrian from her, hopefully, I hope, hopefully, she did bring it up, so hopefully.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? I think that she has one for me cooking as well. I'm supposedly going to be a purple lion, which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I think that with my demeanor, that nothing else would be more fitting.
And one thing about you is like you try to help the community and promote the community in all different facets. So not only do you have the playlists and the marketing services, but now in the past, like, I would say like year or two, you've been trying to push for it to be monetized. To not only
Yeah.
promote us, but to help us in some capacity, like the content that's there to be monetized. And as of like, last year going into this year, I've seen that you've been able to do more sponsored posts, get more businesses to sponsor you, and now you have the Foolproof Creators Program. So I want to ask, how do you feel like how was that journey to get to this point? And how do you feel that, even if it may be like small, it's building to where you can
Yes.
help not only yourself but creators monetize themselves?
Yes, that is the idea. Basically, what we want to do is to monetize the social media experience from the ground floor. So if you get in and you're basically brand spanking new, but you have drive and talent and you work hard, then there's no reason why you can't scrape a few shekels out of this while you're trying to build up. I'd want to very much so encourage you through the small paltry benefits that we can give y'all. That there are oases in what can seem like a desert and push y'all forward to the other end. Now, the journey is an emotional roller coaster. It's filled with frustrations, sadness, but oh my goodness, an overwhelming amount of joy. When I tell you that meeting y'all has been one of the highlights of my life, it keeps giving, and I'm so glad to have come across y'all because y'all have been a blessing to me in ways that y'all don't even know about. I'm not quite the dude to come in, you know what I'm saying, crying and be like, hey y'all, I just want to let y'all know I really loved y'all. As much as I want to do that, not quite my type, but for real, y'all are incredible, and it has been a blessing and a pleasure and a joy to have met all of y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also want to thank you as well, especially when it comes to small businesses. You're always pushing us, whether we're part of your affiliate services, whether you're promoting us outside of that, whether we're sponsored with you or whatever the case may be. And I would ask, was that always like that? Because like that's like one of the pushes for you for the small businesses as well. Has that always been something that you've wanted to do?
Yes, since year one, we start businesses were such a focus for us in year one, but the problem with it was that the difficulty in promoting another person's business is was something that in year two,
Yeah.
especially with our growth and development, saw a loss in priority. With year three, we brought it back, and then we realized we need more advanced planning. So one thing that I need to announce now is that we are planning now for stuff that's going to happen 9 months from now to promote people's businesses and leading up to it as well. So we keep an eye out for stuff like that because we are continually trying to provide more services for the business. And yes, we will always provide services for free. We have a freemium model. We will always provide programs and services for free for all the people who perhaps can't afford it, for all the people who perhaps just they want a taste of it and or try it out. We give them that option. You know what I'm saying? If you mess with us, we will mess with y'all, and we will show you all that there's good to be found out in the world. We do that at a bit of a loss right now, but we hopefully will be able to see that turn around in the near future.
I love the excitement when I asked the
No, because it is exciting. Is what is the only thing. Okay, so one thing I have to say, I'm sorry, I just have to get this off my chest, is when I come into the Discord every morning when everybody is groggy and rolling out of bed and has not had their coffee yet, I have been up for several hours and basically bouncing off the walls, trying to get ready and get work done. And I am very much so this happy of a person, despite any and everything that might have perhaps happened to me. That said, you know what I'm saying? Because life is just a bunch of stuff. So, that in mind, always been a joyous person, and I'm I'm glad to bring it to y'all, and I know that y'all are sick of my shit because I wake up and I come in smiley face, waving and just showing love and trying to be the sunshine before the sun gets up.
And speaking of that, I always ask creators, especially when it comes to like you're trying to figure out what direction to take your business or your content, but then you're reminded of why you do it. It could be a certain interaction or, you know, certain moments in your career where you feel like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Have you had some of those moments that you want to share?
Yeah, 100%. We have our stuff that in the past, it has been our playlists. I took some knowledge that I have and brought all that together. Uh, Currently, it's Nakama no Kibi. We do have some other projects that I can't tell y'all about right now that, yes, those are going to also do that. And I forgot your question, but I forgot your question.
Oh, it was you know, like when you feel like you're not sure what direction to take, you may feel overwhelmed, but like a word of
Yes,
encouragement or something may
I don't
bring
have
you
that.
back. Yeah.
I don't have that right now because I basically have our course is laid out for us, and we do have the abilities to afford time in between that to other areas. But right now, our directives is the word that I currently like right now.
Yeah.
Are basically geared to just providing so much opportunity for people to improving our own models, to just refining our quality control and making this what it needs to be so that way we can be of optimal service to y'all. It's a little bit, it's very difficult to put out and take in at the same time, but that is what makes a business a business. And if I want to get metaphorical about it, that's what makes a star a star, is that there's constantly light shining out and it has its own magnetic and gravitational force, which, you know, keeps all of whatever the heck that stuff is that's burning up there just hot.
That's true. And I wanted to ask about Twitch because I know, especially like last year, and you've been really pushing like the streaming and Twitch. And what can people expect with the Twitch and how it connects to your community that you built?
The Twitch will be firing back up. Over the winter, it died down. My circadian rhythm does not allow for. I have the bedtime of a toddler every winter. I am in bed by 6 p.m.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, that's the thing. But I wake up at like 11 p.m. So, that in mind, I had to stop. I had too many other projects. I was getting an animation off the ground. We're starting up our cosplay models. We were refining our playlisting models. We are just coming down from the family business that we did in December, where we put an emphasis on business promotions for the holiday season, hoping that y'all take the hint and buy some stuff from the incredible incredible businesses and brands in our community.
Yeah.
So the streaming died down a little bit and we lost a considerable amount of inertia. I do have methods to get those back, but it is a bit of a budgeting requirement. In that time, we have fallen out of loop with the current technological state of gaming, and we would be leaning back on some retro and some single play for the time being while we look to bring those models to a more operational capacity.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult, but it's there. It's there to be improved, and we are going to be aiming to improve it in the spring and summer seasons. And then next winter, I'm going to stop again because, you know what I'm saying?
I get that. And one thing I wanted to ask, because you have so much going on, what certain strategies helps you, to the best of your ability, take care of things? Or when do you know what's the best way to take a break or prevent burnout from being too strong? That's what I want to ask you for a long time.
Okay. A
Because
question of how do I avoid burnout and how do
yeah.
I know when to take breaks and what causes breaks. Okay. Yeah. So normally I take a break from social media every 60 days because it's very, very draining working on social media. You see a lot of incredible work. It's very difficult to not compare it to your own situation. And you are constantly bombarded with information and images that evoke a wide variety of emotions. So every 60 days I take a break from social media just for my mental health and my health. That said, that's the number one thing that, well, I guess keeps me from having to take breaks is knowing when to take them. After 4 years, it's basically scheduled out. So I noticed this year one, year two type stuff. Like, okay, around this time of year, I'm gonna be burnt out. So I need to stop and pull back, retreat, and then put that time into cooking. And that's one of the things that answers the other part of that question is how do I afford my time? And so it's like social media and cooking, social media and cooking. Okay, step away from social media, cooking. And then in the process of that cooking, right?
Yeah.
If you peel back those layers, it's a lot of touching things here and touching things there. One thing that I learned from graduating high school, a C and D student or a B to D student, was if I applied myself more, if I started my projects the night that I got them, instead of waiting until the last minute, then I might have done better. Life might have been different. Things might have been great. I wouldn't have met the fam, so I never would have did that shit. Plus, who want to go to school, wake up at 6 a.m. to go to school, spend 6 hours a day in the building, and then go home with 6 a.m.? That sounds like the devil to me. You don't want to do that. So, but the fact of the matter is that one of the things the greatest lesson that I took away from high school was do your homework, start your work early, always pay attention while you're in class, because that was the number one asset that I had, was that when I was in class, I wasn't really dicking around. When I was out of class, dicking around. If you sent me home with an assignment, money bag guarantee you wasn't going to see it. You was never going to hear about it. You was going to come to me and say, hey, yo, you got that? And I was going to say, huh?
You're like, nah.
So,
Nah, not at all.
yeah, exactly. So that was me as a student, but really the way that shaped me as an adult was that I realized I missed out on an invaluable skill and took the time to learn it as an adult.
Yeah.
So now I'll touch a project here, and then when this is to a point where I'm satisfied with the progress that I've made, I'll look to another project. So it's like I spend 3 hours on this today. I'm with a series of dance breaks in the middle, by the way, and then I'll move on to another project for 3 hours.
Yeah.
More dance breaks, and then I'll move on to another project. And that project is probably going to involve gaming or something, or music or something like that. And those ones, well, the music ones get dance breaks, but the gaming ones not so much.
I'm glad to hear that, like, over time, through doing Famicon and just being an adult, I would say, too, you've learned certain things, how to navigate it. So I'm happy for that, because you do a lot. So, and, like, for people that don't know, every once in a while I'll check in, like, you good? Like, he'll check in and be like, you good? Because
Yeah.
we both just be doing a lot of stuff.
No, yeah. One thing that I've had to notice is that everybody has, to an extent, I don't want to say retreated into their own lives, but they have been called to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like people have their own lives, their own projects. Have individuals like yourself have seen tremendous growth and prosperity. And you know what? Shout out to you, Big Biz Liz in the building. Big Biz Liz. Don't think I don't see you, because I do see you. You right here on the internet right now. So that said, I've noticed that, I respect that, and I don't want to say it can be lonely, but at times it's like, okay, this isn't the way that it started, and the only thing that I can do about that is to continue to improve myself, so that way I'm growing with y'all and I don't fall out of relevance like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and you definitely haven't. So don't ever.
Hooray! It's working.
And I always ask this question on the show, and what better person to ask? I ask about support in the Blerd community. What have we done well so far to support each other? What can we do better? Because I feel like everybody has good input with this question.
Okay, what we do well as far as support. What we do well as far as support is just doing the doggone thing. For example, the good folks at BlerdCon just shifted from, what was it, June or July? June.
To March.
They just shifted from a June date to March. So 3 months. And to take that 3 months, or no, yeah, they shifted 3 months forward, meaning they only had 9 months of preparation. That said, that is a significant challenge to an individual who is looking to build up to a convention in the future. I was biting my nails as an individual who wasn't able to go because of certain financial reasons. But I was biting my nails like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see how this turns out. Y'all showed the fuck up and out, and when I saw them pictures and them videos coming out, I was like, yes, boy, that's how we do. So that's what we do, is everybody shows the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I love that. The one thing that we can do a little bit better is making each other a little bit more of a compartment in our lives. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what I do is, this is by no means the entirety of my life. I do pour a significant portion of my time and energy into this, but by no means is it my entire life. But that said, making it has given me the ability to make time for so many individuals who are trying to see a better life for themselves, doing what they want to do expressively and positively. And I don't see any reason at all why I should not feed into that. And that's the one thing where I think that we can improve a little bit is, you know what I'm saying? These individuals might not be the most important thing in any of our lives, you know, compared to food, water, family, roofs over our heads, and things of that nature. But at the same time, I think that if all of those things are situated, when you log on, I think that double tapping on an image that you see, dropping a follow for somebody, or even if it's from a Finsta account or something like that, you know, just working it and letting people know that you are there, because that's one of the reasons why we created it, is to, again, let people know that there is support out there is love out there, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that I feel like we can really do better with, just making time to support each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But because I feel like what you do and then what I've been trying to do in my small capacity is like some people
Yes.
don't make that time, to do that. But
Right.
it's very much appreciated, and it has an impact, even though I mean I know from your experience too, like sometimes you're like, does it make an impact? Sometimes you overthink it, you're like, I
Yeah.
know, but like in what capacity? But then
Yep.
people tell you, and then you realize, okay, let me stop overthinking it. So
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's very interesting because it's like, I believe it was Mark Cooper. He came by and said, "Hey, I don't know if you hear this enough, but thank you." And I said, "Oh yeah, no, like it's a check mix of responses, but the thank yous are definitely the M&Ms." So, like, the impact that we do make, mostly digital, it's not immediately tangible,
yeah,
but to an individual like myself, for who's starting way behind the eight ball, who has trouble with developing relationships, who has trouble with developing that kind of getting taken at face value,
yeah,
and or being taken seriously, uh, it it presents a means and a medium for individuals to get out there and to put positivity into the world. Granted, most people do the opposite. They get on here and start throwing negativity in every direction like it's nuclear waste, like they don't care where it goes.
yeah,
And but if you take that opportunity to do right and put love out onto the airwaves and into the ether, then there's no reason why this shit can't, like, why it doesn't feel good and why it doesn't come back to you. Except for it takes a while. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be a little bit deliberate in that.
yeah. That's true. But I mean, like, if it's worth it, it doesn't mind the time that it will take. That's how I
What,
feel. I know that everybody
what,
feels like
yes, but the thing about that is there's a value system in there.
that. Yeah,
So it's just like, if you can't identify the value that has,
yeah,
then you aren't going to be able to like really do anything. If you find a piece of ore, or what is it, one of them geodes with all the rocks inside of them, but you have no way to crack it open,
yeah,
or you don't have the tools or the knowledge or the acumen to crack it open,
yeah.
you're holding a rock,
So,
and somebody else will take it from you for pennies on the dollar,
yeah,
because you don't know the true value of taking this thing, hitting it on the floor like it's an egg, and busting open these gems. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's true. That makes sense. And I wanted to ask, what are the goals that you have for Famicon, Foolproof, anything that you're doing right now, long term, short term?
Okay, so long term, we definitely want to start up a convention in the Midwest and bring it to the people, make it something very centric for creators and brands, bring y'all all together, basically turn up, basically have a very professional environment, and take our mission to bring opportunity into that. You know what I'm saying? So that way, we can also partner with the brands and help to make projects come to life. We can also partner with creators, help bring those projects to life. And on top of that, just liaison. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to be involved in everything. I don't need to be, have my hands on all of this stuff. I only got 24 hours in a day anyway. So that being said, just like bringing y'all together is one of our highest desires, and being a part of the community is by far our highest desire. That is our long-term goals. Short-term goals are going to be to bear down on our models, to continually improve on what we're doing, to make sure that our models for gamers are functional, because we have to make sure that we do that. That's going to be our big challenge in 2025, is making sure that our gamer models are up and operational by, I want to say, third quarter. And we also have to keep our models for cosplayers, we are also going to be improving on our models for artists. So for those of y'all that don't know, if you do commission work, we up until this point have had programs that allow us to promote your commission services for a menial co-commission of a few percent or so. That said, we're going to waive that. It's not a substantial enough part of our models, and if we need to, then we can bring it back as something for that. But it's one of the ways that we can support our artists. We can support brands by those. That's going to be promoting businesses and promoting commission work that is going to be coming. Actually, it is the end of third quarter in, I believe, 13 days or 14 days, and that is when we will be announcing that as well. Apart from, of course, the early scoop that you get. Then there are our podcasting services, which do need to be improved upon, but we don't necessarily have the directive to do that right now. And there are also things like, what is it? We already got music. We already did gaming. We already touched on that. Yeah, and then our podcasting services. I do want to find a way to improve on the quality of the podcasting services, and we will be looking for that this year. But right now, it's not our biggest priority outside of Nakama no Kibi, which can help bring a lot of those voice talents into another realm and develop some portfolio for them and get them a little bit acquainted with the processes that go into these things and some techniques as well. So, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. And I just wanted to say this before I ask like any last minute questions, because honestly, without your community, without finding your community, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I just want to thank you personally on the stream for people to hear when they listen back as well, and just in general. Because really, like I didn't know what direction to take. But thanks to Anubis Cosplay, shout out to him. When I did my AnimeInkArt Black Brand Spotlight, he recommended me to you. You reached out to me, and then from there,
Is
it
that
was
how you found us?
yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Shout out to Anubis Cosplay, baby.
So yeah, it was so like through your community, I was able to find other people and then create the content that I create. So honestly, like it started from there. It brought the motivation to do what I do today, and what capacity, however people see me, whether they think like, oh, it's Lizzie, or like I'm just a normal person, you know what I mean? Like however I am now, it started with your community. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
I appreciate you, Lay. I'm glad to have been a small part in, the path that you're on. I'm glad that I was able to touch you and basically, you know what I'm saying, inspire. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why we do this.
Yeah. And the question that I was gonna ask is, how was it growing up for you as a blerd? And through this journey that you've been on, how has it helped you as a person?
Oh my gosh. Growing up as a blerd was difficult because, you know what I'm saying, we grew up with our parents that told us, you're not ever gonna get a job playing video games or watching anime, and yet here we are with jobs, playing video games, watching anime, calculators in our pockets at all times of the day. So that was one of the biggest challenges with that. There was also that individuals were not caught up to us. We was way ahead of the game. We was innovating. We did this shit before it was cool. And individuals, you know what I'm saying, we was living and hiding and all this other stuff, like mutants and X-Men. Yeah, listen back to that Magneto speech as somebody who grew up as a weeb. Listen back to that Magneto speech. So that being said, that's pretty strongly what it was like as we as time went on, I became more educated to literary devices and cultured and aware to things. Art. Shout out to all my English teachers, by the way. Smacking teacher of the year, all of y'all. Just bomb educators. Y'all, they really cued me into some of what I was looking at, and from there, I really started to delve into like virtue and morality of the stories and things of that nature, and it became more so a focal point that to me than some of the action or some of the story. Well, the storytelling. I just said stories. Looking behind on that, but yeah. So really, kind of looking into like the virtues in that, and those kind of helped to foster who I am today. In that, like, I'm never gonna give up like Naruto. I want to fight. I wanna challenge myself like Goku. I want to be the very best like Ash Ketchum. Like, there's so much there's so much in these stories if you let the writers tell you what they're trying to tell you. The people who created these shows all trying to get a message across. So like Batman, and the virtue of Batman is that this dude, through his pain, his suffering, his travails,
Yeah.
and also his great fortune, is able to make a difference in his city by stepping outside of the box and being a psychopath. So that being said, that's what you have to do in order to make. You gotta be a little bit out of the box with this shit. So I appreciate stories like that and things of that nature. If you show me a story, I had our good brother LNDC Arts. He, while you were having technical difficulties over here, I was beating sweat trying to entertain everybody. Goodness gracious! But he told me, would you look over my story? And I was like, yeah, 100%. I'll take all of this acumen and apply it to a review of your story and give it back to you and let you know what it is. And if you want to go public with that, or if you would like us to go public with that, then I would be glad to. So that was the big that was really what it was like growing up as a weeb, was just a journey through art, literature, culture, and things of that, coinciding with so many other things that were going on in my life, that the way that it all really mixed together, I have to say, it's beautiful. It's poetic, actually.
That's awesome. And the last question, this is a new question, but you know, like in those movies when they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna like write this note to like your future self is like talking to your past self or something like that." So
Right.
what would you say to your past self, you know, if they're able to see what you're doing now?
What would I say to my past self? I would tell myself to trust God at every turn and every corner. Always put your faith in Him, to always fold your hands and pray, and then go fight like you've never fought before in your life, and see what don't happen for you, my boy.
That's good. That's actually a good way to end it off. And I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on the show again, for wanting to come on the show again. And I just
Absolutely,
want you
lady.
to give the time to plug in all your socials, where you want
Mhm.
people to follow you, where you want people to see what's up next.
So I can't plug in all my socials, but shout out to all my niggas. Shout out to Anime Inc. Art. Big Biz Liz in the building. Shout out to Otaku Noir. Shout out to Astria Legends. Shout out to the boy Quay Jackson. Shout out to LNDC Arts. Shout out to the whole Kingdom fam. Shout out to the Foolproof fam. Shout out to all my niggas. You feel me? So follow all of them everywhere. I don't care if you don't know the ads. Do that. And then there is also us. Follow us at Famicon Online and also at Foolproof Pro. We are going to be looking to providing more and better services to y'all anytime and always.
Awesome. And again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Despite the technical difficulties, I apologize for that. But we're gonna have one more show this week on Friday. So we'll be going live with the Ludi Warrior. So that's definitely gonna be a good time. For those who may not know what I
Shout out to the Ludi Warrior.
And for those that may not know what I do outside of the show, the art's here. I'm getting back to it. I posted the Pokemon commission that I did. So I do commissions. If you guys ever need to hit me up for full body, half body, chibi, graphic designs, I'll try my best to help you out. We're trying to vend when we get the chance. We've been doing the whole cosplay thing and building that with the brand and supporting you guys as part of the brand. That's why we do these shows, and that's why it's a corporation of it. I'm glad that you guys have been liking AnimeInkArt Live Talk so far. That's all I can really ask for. And I just wanted to wish you guys a great rest of the week. I'll see y'all on Friday, and I hope you have a good night.
Appreciate you, lady. Shout out to y'all. Y'all be easy now.
You too. Bye.